is what I've learned. Every day I keep enlightening myself. I used to be very careless with my risk taking. I'll just not even calculate the end of it. All I want, I have a passion for this. I'm going to do this film, and whatever and wherever it is, I can borrow. So I had bad debts. And people knew that these are bad debts because Barbara is, I don't think she's going to pay it around this time. But the film is there. But then you realize, oh, it didn't work. It didn't work out. And my husband started to say, Barbara, you'll not keep the papers for land. You'll get loans that are. So this is something that I learned. I take a film, a movie, let's say a movie, because I've done more of the features, I take it as a business. How do I explain it? It's a business that has to get for me something. And so I have invested in thinking and in planning. I will just get out of home to just plan the financial bit of how this film is going to get for me money. Like I make projections according to what I have, been, and they are usually like that. Then I have a plan of, okay, fine, I have this money, I'm going to put it in this film. Then how am I going to get it? What is my marketing plan for my premiere? And I make sure my premieres are full house so that I can get something out of it. So I put in a lot in marketing, like not money per se, but a lot of tactics. And I will work so hard. The people that know me, they know me for working hard. When I get something, I work hard and finish it. So you get your film, like Doris is saying, don't just do something without knowing how the end is going to be. Actually, usually people tell us, look at the end, and then come back to the beginning, and then you start to work towards the end. So that is something that we need to think about as filmmakers. So that is why we're saying empowering our creativity through financial literacy, that we are creative, but we need to empower our creativity through financial literacy. I'll just end with a small story as I come to KJ. There's one of my students, if you're here, please forgive me. He did tell me that the wife was like, moving. These things are, please, because you have the passion, you're putting in the time, you're putting in and then nothing is coming out of it. For me, I left those things because I have kids, I have children, I have a family to take care of. So if I am in this, I take it as a business. It's not just laissez-faire. And that is why, that was the vision of why, I decided that let's call people and we have a summit for women in film. A business summit. Okay, so KJ, this is very sensitive, but we need to talk about it. Company businesses and spousal involvement. And I know you guys can also, get into the conversation about this. How to navigate spousal business relationships. Whichever angle you take, we get it from there.
It's really technical to me, especially since I don't have a spouse right now. But I'm going to take you through from a professional point of view.
Yes.
Yeah. So a company, like I told you earlier, it is a separate entity. So if I know some of you choose to work with your spouses, which is good. It is good, but you have to understand that it is completely separate from your personal lives. There has to be that line. Yes, so I know it can be a bit technical, like drawing the line. Sometimes you cross over, and Tassles Films, you can relate.
Yes, she will answer that one as well.
Okay. Yeah, but sometimes it can be successful. It can be successful, especially if you embrace the differences and if you navigate around all those, it can be successful. There are some ways how it can be successful, and the first one is clearly defining roles, like the two spouses. Okay, the couple, yes, you're working together, but you have to be very specific on what exactly you're taking on. Yeah, as the husband, what are you good at? If you filmmakers and the husband is a cinematographer and maybe an editor, and the wife is a director and maybe a screenwriter, you do your jobs, because if you collide within those roles, there will be a problem with decision making, first of all. So you have to be very, very specific. You do your job. If it's editing, the wife should not interfere. Okay, they can throw in advice here and there, but don't come and tell me how I'm going to arrange the timeline. Okay, so it has to be very, very specific. Um, then it is also important to know where your strength lies, and you should focus on that. Yeah, if you're a film director and that's your strength and you're very bad at writing, please focus on directing and maybe try to improve, to learn the art of writing, up to when you can do it well. So if your spouse is good at writing, let them do that, and maybe you be more of a story contributor, like giving advice here and there on the story. But the screenplay, please let them do it. So let's be specific. I know some of you might not be filmmakers. I'm a filmmaker, that's why I'm giving you examples from film. But as a lawyer, still, I know it is important to let your spouse focus on what they're good at. If they're into maybe criminal law and you are into corporate law, okay, civil law, yeah. If they have a divorce case and what, please don't interfere. You just focus on what you're good at and they focus on what you're good at. With that line, it will work out. Then communication and partnership agreements. There should be effective communication. I understand it can be personal sometimes and feel like, yeah, this is my man, this is my wife. But trust me, when it comes to business, you have to first put aside the personal relationship and you have a straight business talk as spouses. So discussing business matters is very important. Don't ignore it, don't avoid it. No matter how difficult it is, you put it at the table and you talk about it. In that case, it will work out. Then maintaining professional boundaries. That's more like setting the line, setting clear boundaries on what you're taking on and what this one is taking on. And with the boundaries, still I mean family. If it's family related issues, let it be at home. Discuss that at home. And if it's work and business related, let it be just that. So the boundary is very important. If you have a problem, don't bring it at work. Otherwise, it will sabotage the entire day, maybe, and you have something good going on and important for business, and then you bring some problem from home, and you end up messing up all the workers and the entire business. So boundaries are important. Family, business shouldn't really mix. Then professional advice is important. You should seek out professional advice from, maybe in case of any problem with business, or if at all the two are mixing you up and you are kind of having a problem distinguishing the two, you should seek out professional advice from maybe legal advisors or people that have experience in that kind of business. Like if I'm married, which I'm soon going to be, yeah, and I choose to work with my partner, and we have a problem. Maybe I don't know how to handle this and that. I'm so stressed, work and family, and there's a lot of pressure. I can reach out to my fellow woman, They're like, how are you doing this? How have you managed for years? You get, so she can advise me from a professional point of view, from an experienced man's point of view. Yeah. So it's very important to consult. There is no problem consulting because we all need advice at one point. Then, before I leave that, I think with the agreements, we'll talk about ways of solving disputes or conflicts. If at all there is a problem, how are you handling as spouses? Problems within business. you have to clearly stipulate the means of dispute resolution or conflicts, and that has to be clearly stated in the agreement. That if we have this problem, what are we going for? Are we suing each other just like that, or we are going in for mediation or negotiation? You can put a third party in there to, to maybe come in and mediate in case of any problem. Yeah, so that some problems are easy to solve, some conflicts are easy to solve without going to court or what. It's just about mediation, negotiation, conciliation, those few things. Yeah, so it should be clearly stated in the agreement.
Okay.
It's very, very important.
All right.
Yeah.
I think I'll ask the other two ladies if they can jump in on this. But before they do, I think I'll give you practical tips, especially if you haven't yet registered your company. Okay, it's my personal opinion, and you are the person that is you are the filmmaker, and probably your spouse isn't, you know there are aspects of your business that they're not going to understand, because usually limited company, they're like, okay, find another partner, another partner to be, for it to be a limited company. And so you say, closest person, my husband, yeah, or my wife, So sometimes we have, what are they? They're not ghost partners. Are they ghost partners? Okay, they're not like active partners in the business, And so it's just out of experience. And so sometimes you're signing mandates. I would rather, if the person is not too involved, I would rather you're signing mandate, you leave it to probably by yourself, so that you can, I don't know, they will advise. They'll advise. Because this is it. Sometimes there is money that is for the business, and it has to really be for the business. And then there will not be so much of a separation. That thing you'll advise. And then you find that you're like, sign the checkbook. And you're like, hey, sign that check, because they're not involved. I'm talking about you guys who are like probably going to put other partners on your accounts, and they're not really involved in the business. They don't know how it runs. And the film business is so expensive, So it might seem like I'm playing devil's advocate, but I think there's some magazine, you'll tell us, because there is that session, you'll tell us what you think. So sometimes you think before you give signing mandates, because anyway, let's go on. So
Okay, thank you, Barbara. I like that question because I'm a businesswoman. I run a family business. My business partner is my husband. Yes.
can they come?
Yes, yes. And our first company and business, it was first registered in 2008. And we are still here growing and doing business in different aspects. So once you decide you've registered a business, it is a business. You decide, even if this person does not understand, let's say you're saying, I've told you, I'm a medical doctor. I'm now into the creative industry and doing business. I can assure you, when my husband first came out with the idea, can we invest in this? I was thinking, oh no, I have too much on my plate already. But then you find that, yes, like Victoria earlier alluded to, someone keeps saying, this is something we can do. And the person is insistent, I'm not going to go without you, because they also know your strength and what you bring on board in terms of you understanding this. So what has that led me to do? To read, to learn, and understand what is in this business. I am not a writer. I'm not an actress. I am not, but I have learned to learn what goes on in this business and what it takes. So whichever business partner you're bringing on board, you're going to work with, it's very important that they buy into your vision and are willing to understand what it takes. And that makes it a lot easier than when you're dealing in day-to-day things. But then we have the backup, which you've talked about, where these things are, when you're running a business, it's no longer between you and your partner only. It's, if I should say, it's like a public entity in a sense that you're accountable to beyond just the two of you as partners. You have the people you're employing. You have maybe the premises you're using. There's so much at stake that cannot just be held between you and the two of you having not agreed on one point or two, that the business then ends. So that's where you'll have systems that are set in, such that you'll find that if I have an accountant, we have a system on the way money is going to be paid out, where it's banked. So it's not that my husband will walk in and tell the accountant, give me money. For what? On which budget line? And what are we looking at this? You get it? So once you have the system set in, this business is not just the two of you. The business is accountable to many other people who you're dealing with. If you're going to make a movie, you have lined up a whole cast. All these people are your responsibility. So it's not about you saying that I'll not sign because it's costing so much, but it's also taking on responsibility that when you're running a business, it's no longer just about you and about the differences you made. So that's the professional bit of it. You'll bring in professionals to work with you, to guide you, to set in systems, to see how the finances are being managed, how compliance is being done to the regulations of the country that are available, the legal entities. So in future, even if things go wrong, you find that this business can continue regardless of the differences between two people. You know, I've visited businesses where, like, an ex-wife is still in the business, but because they have systems, the person owns still 50% of that business, let's say. And the best thing is that our focus on making this business work is very separate from us being married, you know, from us being spouses. This is our business. So even when I'm no longer your wife, can we know that it's the business, it's the partnership we have to make this and our accountability to grow and get bigger, and you'll find that you'll still keep in those lines. There are systems beyond just the two of you. Yeah. So that helps a lot in terms of, and when you're starting small, it starts, but you'd have to start with these systems in place to know that this business is not just about me and you. And that's also the other thing I see, like in the creative industry. You're going to grow this business that it's no longer you who has to write all the scripts. Because when you're going to do a business and you say, oh, you know, I'm the actress or I'm the director of the movie, it's different to be the director of the business. Those two will be separated. That's why in this business, if we are going to do a movie and you're director, then us as a business, we shall pay you as the director of that movie. That does not come in the sense that, so you're going to, these roles will just be separated, where you are the technical person, but you're also the business owner. So these two are very different.
Yes.
And you'll not mix them.
Yes.
So if you are in the business, you have Tassles Film, it's for Barbara and the husband, but Barbara is also the director, and Barbara is there every day at the movie. Then Barbara is on the payroll and is going to be paid as the managing director of the company. If you go in the movie and you're going to take on a role and act, you have a rate you're paying the actors. Then pay yourself on that as the actress in that movie, on the budget that was put in the movie. So that makes it a lot easier than even for accountability. And that's where it brings challenges. If the other spouse is actually a silent partner, But are they getting accountability? Are you getting audited and they're seeing what things are happening in this business, where things are going? So it's the transparency, the accountability, the keeping the records and seeing this where it's coming so that they support you and you support each other. I'm not sure about saying that you leave the signatory mandates to yourself alone. Reason being, remember, what if
Something happens to
no,
you.
not COVID came. I'm in ICU. There's nobody to sign because I'm the only signatory. You get what I mean? So there are all those challenges, and actually now you even need them to sign so that they can bring some money and pay.
Yes.
And you're not able to sign. So they definitely, when there are systems in place, then you'll share the responsibility and it makes the things work. You're not there, you're held somewhere. You fly out of the country and you find that there's a storm, you can't get in. People have to sign and the work goes
And
on
the
in
work-
the business. Yes, you're delayed. The checks you signed have run out.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so it's very important. Once you have systems and the legal things are there, and the business is not just you. The business is a bigger thing than the two of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doris. I do buy into that idea. But I think my line of thought was because you're talking about intentional partnerships, that we are going to run this business together. But love can make you do funny things. When you just want to do like a company with your person, you let us know, eh? And you have not talked about anything you've not like been straight up like Kevin was saying about how you're going to run this company. You're just saying, because they need an extra person for me to be a limited company, the URSB official will also jump in on that later on. And you're like, just be on this paper. I think there could be problems going on, but I think the thing I've got from you is that the two people, if their spouses have decided to do business, they've got to really be, it has got to be a two people thing, and an intentionality of saying, we're going to do this together, not you just saying, I'm starting my company, Kati, since you're my wife, those are, you know? You be the other party. You be the other party. So I think for me that is what I have got from your discussion. I don't know,
And
Jackie,
if
do
they
you
are
want
not
to jump in?
supportive on that, whichever other partner you get should also not be just. Everyone would have to be supportive of that.
Contribute to.
Supportive, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I think I also want to add on to that, and that's a big challenge that we have as women, because I work with a lot of women groups. We do a lot of laissez-faire kind of business. Jangu tukole wamu, come. You know, first of all, we are crusaders, so we call everybody and we go along. But the biggest challenge is we do not document, we do not go legal. So a business must be legal. Even this other person that you've said just come, it should be well stipulated that they're going to be silent partners, you're going to be the active managing director, and these are your KPIs as the active managing director, your key performance indicators. And you're going to have to also be accountable to them, because the fact that they're not there doesn't mean that you don't account to them and you do what you want. So I think for me, what I would want to say is your spouse, your partner, you've decided and agreed to do life together. Till death, do us part. At times you part before death, but the big picture is death. Why do I say that? You know, I'm not a believer in doing things wish-wash. You know, in things like, oh, you're my husband, but we can't work together. Oh, you're my husband, but we can't invest together. But we can do life together. We can have children together. We live together. We share a bed, but we can't do business. Then are we really together? I don't know. So with me, I would say, look at the bigger picture. Why are you starting this business? For us, we started a business. I've worked with my husband for the last 19 years. And we started the business because we wanted a legacy for our family. We come from backgrounds where our parents didn't own businesses. They only took us to school, so they did not have anything to pass on to us. So with us, we decided we need to do something where we pass on something to our children. So how are you going to pass on something to your children when you've not built it together? So, but what has also helped us is we've looked at each other's strength and we've leveraged on that. I know he's stronger in certain decisions. When it comes to that, I tone down. When it comes to areas that I'm strong, he listens to me. But obviously, that is not a magic wand. It takes 19 years to build. So every day you work on it like you're working on your marriage. It's also a partnership that you have to work on.
Yes.
But something that has also helped me, because I'm the managing director, most of the businesses that we work together, my husband is not actively engaged. He has his areas, but he's not engaged in the day-to-day, the mundane tasks. So what I have positioned myself is every time I'm going to talk to him, I position myself to say, he is the investor. So how do you present to your investor? If PSFU asked you to pitch to them today, you prepare. You have PowerPoint slides. You show the projections. How are we going to make money? And I found that that has made it so easy for me because I don't present to him as my husband. I present it to him as someone I want to make a financial decision for our company. So I prepare my PowerPoint. I research, like Doris says. I read. I understand the industry. I educate myself. Then I come to him and I'm like, this thing will work. How will it work? 1, 2, 3, 4. He'll ask questions, and if he's not okay with it, I will go back. There's a project I prepared, and I came back every month for 1 year. I could have given up, but it was a big project, and I knew that it was going to make us money. So I was patient. So every time he asked me a question, so how does this work? I would go back, and the next meeting, I come with the answer. Finally, he signed on to it, and we're good to go.
Great, great. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. I think we'll go into our last questions. And then I think Afri, I don't know if Afri is here, and we'll get Afri. So before I come back to Jackie for your last question of the day, I'll go to the USB official that has come. And I think we'll go back to the question that we asked KJ at some point about the benefits of registration. How do we go about the whole company registration? Because for me, I think it's a highlight for this summit that we go very legal with our businesses so that we position ourselves to actually be financed in a better way, all right? I think it's a highlight for this summit. So how do we go about it? What are the benefits of this thing,
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for this initiative. Apologies, and I thank you for the patience for waiting for us.
You're here.
Yeah. We're here. The person who was supposed to come got issues, but I didn't want to disappoint my women because I had to be here so that we talk about some issues. Kiza Zoe, Registration Officer at Uganda Registration Services Bureau. And I can't have this audience and not tell you the rest of the things that we do. We do civil registrations. We register all marriages that occur within Uganda. We also celebrate and solemnize civil marriages from our office. So those of you who are Muslim, Christian, we want to get married, we want to get legal, we do it that side. We register businesses, we register companies. We are the official receiver in insolvency. We register trademarks, copyrights, patents, and all that. We run a 24-hour system that registers interests in movable property on the side of lenders. But for today, it's business, and I'm from the Directorate of Business Registration. Many women have done business for years, and they've not thought about formalizing them or registering them. And when you talk to them one-on-one, you would see the reasons as to why they haven't. I've been making my profits, I've been earning. Why should I register my business? But I'll give you an example. If you found someone in Kajansi, or let me say Luwero, trading as Tassles Films, and they are doing the exact business that you're doing. Someone trading as MTN, and is not the MTN that you know. There's that name that you've worked for. There's credibility you've got for a long time. And it's associated with that name. That is our first mandate, to protect your name. That is why we do not give names that are similar to names that are already registered on the register, to avoid confusion and misleading the public that the owner of this enterprise A is actually the one trading as enterprise B. So to secure your name so that people do not ride on your goodwill that you have made for a long time. When you register your business, people get to trust you. Huh? Because you know the person they are dealing with. You're not a briefcase business. It's where you're dealing. It's where you're trading. Today you're in Masaka. That is where your company is. You're on a national register. It's a public record. Anyone can come and make a search and find out all about you, even if there are issues that have gone on, you're hiding, but you have a company. The company is not you. We shall look for where is this company located. We have all that detail. We have your NIN. We have all that detail of the people that are involved in this company. So you get credibility. People learn to trust you more. They can easily deal with you because they know you are formalized. When I come to the government business where we work, governments deal with formalized entities. If you are very lucky and you're dealing with government and you're not formalized, then you're just a lucky person, but not for so long. Government deals with payments of government, go through structures. Your company, your business. If you are bidding, how are you bidding? How are you coming? Are you coming as Nakamate Films? Or you're coming as Tassles Films? They need a formal structure, and it can only be achieved through registration of a business. Raising capital. There is an IPO that is going on. We had one for MTN some time back. Then we are having the one for Airtel. It's a means of raising capital. If you're running low on capital, you can actually issue out shares so that people buy and bring in more capital. But you will not do it as an individual. You need to be a corporate entity. You need to have formalized as a company for you to have those benefits so that you can solicit capital. Competition. How are you going to compete on the international market as an individual? We're going global. When you look at developed countries, America, all the successful businesses are registered entities. You hear Bill Gates, Elon Musk, but what sounds more is their companies. It's not them as people. Yes, you know he's rich, but their corporate entities. It is where we are going. So we're supposed to take those first baby steps towards that direction. We understand? So you may see your business as something that is very small today. But I don't think anyone started a business having projections of where it will be in 20 years. And you don't know how much is going to change within that period that you're waiting to register. Because as I speak now, registering a company was around a minimum of 110,000. But just last month, new regulations came in place and some fees were increased. So for you to avoid all that, so many things could change. There could be other requirements that may be harder for you now to comply. So it's better, first do it. A business name or a partnership is only 24,000 shillings to register. It's not something that is very hard. I think most of us heard of the issue of Vantage versus something, someone lent someone money, and then this other person didn't want to pay, and was saying you're not a registered entity. You were not registered in Uganda. And do you know the cost of that registration? It was 24,000 shillings. For the lender to have been registered in Uganda, to have capacity to do what? To lend billions to that person. So that was the issue in court. But you've lent billions of shillings and they are at stake. So there are these things that you could look at as, what is in it for me? But you don't know where you're going tomorrow. So I always advise my women that, however small, Actually, for us, even if you have an idea, say, I don't have enough money, but next year, I'm going to start a business. Come secure your name. Because you don't know by next year, to Tassles Films, we don't give it to you. Whether you've traded with it for 50 years and someone registered it yesterday and they are on the register, we shall not give it to you. Whether your entire building is full of Tassles Films posters and all your flyers and everything is full of that name, for as long as it's not on the national register as a name belonging to your business, we shall not give it to you. Our women, when you register a company, it's actually always advisable to hold properties under that company. There's so many things that happen. When we're planning, we plan for the future. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Eh? Okola business no musajja encho musajja, God forbid. Afa. And you have accumulated all properties. Eh? Abalamu ne basoka ne bajja ne beesomba. Eh? But if all those properties are held under a corporate entity, it's a monster. You're not going to start touching those properties. Eh? Until you go through the formal legal procedures for you to acquire those properties. There's a principle of limited liability. For example, when you go to the bank and borrow money, maybe 100 million shillings as, I don't know, I have Tassles Films here. You'll forgive me, it's the one that I'm using as an example because it's the one I've found. As Tassles Films Limited. And it's the one that has borrowed money. If maybe for some reason they've got some hardship and they have failed to pay up, they're not going to look for Mr. Zito Wundo? Mr. They're not going to look for Barbara. Barbara inaya kaporo chieruwero. She's in this company, let's go and attach it. No, does not act that way. You blend a company, it's the company that's liable, you're supposed to get those monies from the company. So you as a person, you are protected in a way by that principle of limited liability, unless if there is a case of fraud. Toja kukozesa lukujjukujju kwekweka mu company kukola bintu bya lukujjukujju otwale sente z'abandi because you're in a company. If there is fraud, then the company will lift the veil of incorporation and look for you. They say, Barbara jangu waneno. Later sente. But generally, that principle applies. It gives you a lease of life as you're looking for money. Because actually, at the end of the day, it's you to look for the money and the company pays. But they will not come for your personal assets or your personal income to attach it to be able to pay that money. Okay. So, how can you register? What are the available entities that you can register? You can register as a sole proprietorship when you are alone as an individual. But in most cases, we pool resources and we come together and we want to be a partnership. You can be a partnership of 2 to 20 partners. That's the limit. Except where you are professionals, architects, pharmacists, those professional bodies, they can go to the maximum of 50. But for us, in Gafesimanyo, a professional, tujja koma ku 20, from 2 to 20, that is a partnership. And that is 24,000. Take a bank charge, maybe 2,300 there. That is the money you need to get a certificate of registration to secure your name and be on the register and trade as an entity, a legal entity that is known. Such that if government is looking for entities to support, they have people I've seen, they have come like 10 people, they want to register a company overnight, because there is some money they're expecting the following day. Why would you go through that? And actually, there are institutions or there are opportunities there whereby they will have to look at how long have you been in business. You're not going to go and talk to them and say, you see me, I've worked for. Where is the documentation? Where is the paper? Where is the certificate that shows that you have been in business for 20 years? And that's a certificate of registration that shows that you registered on such and such a date. And actually, you'll be trusted more than the person who registered yesterday. So, Barbara Videography or Nakamate Films, please register as early as yesterday so that you are on the register.
All right.
You can register as a company where you are alone. The law allows you to be alone in a company. It's called a single member company. You have your own capital. And that is if you can properly run a company through its rightful structures. Yes. And manage everything without a partner, without someone else. You can do that single member company. You are the only shareholder. You own 100% or 1,000 shares, the ones you created in the company. You are the shareholder, you are the director, but you cannot be your own secretary. For ease of doing business, you can appoint a secretary, someone who helps you run day-to-day business, so you can appoint a director. But it's not a must. No as a sole shareholder. You sit in your own meeting, you make your own minutes, you make your own resolution, you know, signing no bank. Yes. And it's actually not mandatory. The law does not make it mandatory for a single member to hold a meeting. You wake up and type your resolution and it is okay, it is legal. It's that principle was brought about to reduce on the red tape. Red tape. Muntu yagenze bulaya oyagala kusaininga kujjayo sente mu banka. That person is not available. You're losing opportunities because you're looking for someone to sign just a bank resolution. So someone can conduct business for as long as you have the potential, you have the financial muscle as a sole shareholder in your company. You can be 2 or more people up to the limit of 100 people in a private company limited by shares. You look for your friends, you pull resources, you come together. But as these ladies were talking about something, be careful with the people you choose to be partners with. Are you able to get along? We're in a process of data cleanup where we are cleaning our database. We want it to have very authentic information that you can ask me, how many women shareholders do we have on our register? And I just give it to you in seconds. It's what we're doing. But we've encountered scenarios where people come and say, this person we don't see eye to eye, but you're actually partners. We don't see eye to eye. This person cannot sign. He has refused. He's doing what? But you came together. You had an idea. You were sharing dreams together. You had something you were looking forward to at the inception of this company, but you actually cannot work together. So if you cannot, please do a single member company. And also the people you give shares, even if it's one share like this. If you held one share in MTN Uganda, how rich would you be? Like that MTN of those days, if you are like that mega original shareholder. So you could find that you have 10 million share capital today. You don't know where you're going tomorrow. You'll put someone who's going to become a problem for you and your company has grown big. You cannot remove that person without their consent. I'm a shareholder. You will come and explain to us, I just put him, that person is there. As long as he has not consented, he's a shareholder, entitled to dividends. Muweku Sente is a shareholder. As long as you signed and that person was there on the paperwork, it means that person, without their consent, they cannot get out of the company. So don't just put people, hey, we want to do paperwork for chap. Who has an ID? We send. Don't. Just be intentional in the things that you are doing. Don't just do things for just.
Okay.
Just.
All right.
Get people that you share aspirations with. Yes. People you share the same aspirations that actually have a vision of where you are going. So you can register all those entities and companies I've explained to you.
Yes.
I think time is going. That's why she's looking at me with a bad eye. Thank you so
No,
much.
not a bad eye. I'm sure these people we're going to give you three people, three questions for these people so that we can move on to the next session. Thank you so much for that information. For
You're
me, I
welcome.
still say that first and foremost, empowering our creativity through financial literacy. I think the first thing for us to take ourselves seriously and start to earn some big monies and position ourselves for better business is the point of legal registrations of our businesses. Yeah. So, I'm going to ask my co-MC, my MC today, to probably take a mic in there. These are four ladies. Three questions, only three questions, because we have other two panels and time has gone. Yes.
Thank you so much. First, to the lady of URSB. In case you joined a venture, already a business, and it's already going on, existing, and then you became partner, how do you legalize yourself to be part of that business? How do you enter in it? If it doesn't have, it has limited by shares. So how exactly can you really be a legal partner in that business in case they put you on, they're interested, then you're also interested in what they do and you want to be part of it? So how do you do that? And another thing, if I registered my name, how long does it hold to register your name? How long? I registered my name, let me say 2018, and I have not finalized the entire procedure of registration. So how long does it stay there in existence as a registered name? Thank you so much.
Okay, I think I'll be answering because I would forget the questions. Okay, thank you so much. There are different procedures for becoming part of a company and becoming part of a business name. Business name can be a sole proprietorship or a partnership. So for a sole proprietorship or a partnership, there is a form that is called Notice of Change of Particulars that makes all the changes on a partnership or a business. You just notify us that so and so has been added as a partner through that form on our system, the OBRS, and then you'll have become part of that partnership or business. For a company, it's a different procedure. If you want to come in as a shareholder and all shares were issued out, then maybe one of those shareholders will have to transfer some shares to you so that you become a shareholder. Or if you just want to become a director, they can just appoint you, the shareholders can just appoint you to become a shareholder through a resolution and a form. It's not a complex issue. Yes. Then about the name. When you reserve your name, we give you 30 days. Maybe you're looking for money for registration and all that. Once we've given you the name, you have 30 days to register. But then after 30 days, we wait for you and you have not turned up. The system notices. Then it gives you some other extra days, 30 days. Now after 30 days, it will be available for someone else to take, because people reserve names and maybe they've changed. They don't want to register anymore, or maybe they were expecting money, they didn't find it, and it's not as easy to get names. So we avail it to other people for it to be able to be used. Yes, so after 6 days, it's available. After 30 days, you can renew and it's available to you.
So if the time period has expired, so I have to re-register.
Yes, you re-reserve afresh.
Afresh.
Yes, and that is if it's available. You could find that now it's no longer available because someone else took it. Yes.
Okay. Two more people, quickly. Only two, because we have other sessions.
Okay.
Two more people.
My question goes to the URSB lady as well. At what age can I appoint my children as shareholders in my company?
Okay. Thank you so much. Back in the days, you would put your newborn baby 1 month as a shareholder. But we could find that business stalls in the company because they've put people who are not of age. They cannot make decisions. there is necessary quorum that is required to make decisions in the company, and you cannot make that quorum, and then for us, you will come to us and tell us in a meeting held by shareholders on such and such a date, and then you are the only shareholder and the rest are babies, and we say, where did this meeting sit with babies? So, so we've restricted that. Someone should be of age and they should hold a national ID with a NIN for us to be in proper position with the law, so that we don't get issues in the future.
All right, thank you so
Yes.
much. I also wanted to hear that one. One last person, please. One last one.
Someone of age actually is someone who's 18 years and above. Someone told me of age is, 18 years and above.
Thank you so much for the information you've given us today. My question basically goes to the URSB lady. I have about 3 questions for you, and I'll ask them concurrently. So the first question is, you talked about sole proprietorship and single member company. Please help me understand the difference between the two. And then the second question also, in case, for example, I decide to either register as a sole proprietorship or as a single member company, and then later on, probably I want to register as a larger company, is there such an option for me? And then my third question is in relation to the implications of registering as a company. What does this mean for me, especially in relation to things like taxation and the like, because I believe that's like a huge fear for very many people. Maybe if I register, then probably so much of the profits are going to be taken from my business. So help me understand the implications of registration as a company.
Okay, thank you. The questions were many, but I hope I cover all of them. Okay, sole proprietorship and single member company. A sole proprietorship is a business name. It's the same as a partnership. You are sole proprietor, you are the business. You're not separate from your business. Yegwe nakamati, obo fudde, ofane business you. But a single member company is actually a corporate legal entity, separate from its owner. That's why I've told you that if Nakamate Enterprises Limited goes to the bank and borrows, they will not come for you, Nakamate. You are separate from you as an individual from the company. The company is an artificial person in itself. You're just a shareholder in that company, but the business is part and parcel of you. It is not separate from you, the individual. That's the only difference.
Okay.
And then you said if you start as a sole proprietorship, there's a provision for you to change and become a company. You can register Nasanga Investments as a sole proprietorship. But maybe tomorrow you feel you've got a financial muscle to become a company, or you have people you want to work with, they want to be directors, you want to give them some shares, because ideally as a business name, it doesn't have those formal corporate governance structures. So you would now have to first seize this business name, which is Nakamate Enterprises. Jitaneva. But then we have to reserve it again. Kubanga, there could be another Nakamate something limited that could make it similar to an already existing one. So we go and search and find out whether amongst the companies there is no Nakamate Enterprises Limited. And then we give you the name, and then we go through the formal processes of registration of the company. Okay. And then implications of registering as a company.
Implications.
She talked about taxes. I don't know why. I don't know why people keep talking about taxes. Once I register, but all of us know that they don't come and charge tax against your capital you have invested in the company. Eh? Capital is charged, tax is charged against the profits you make. But there is also a threshold. Eh? Nakamata obokola milioni emo mwaka. Anageno kuja kwa msoro. Eh? But also, it's prudent that if you make some money, just like the rest of us Ugandans, now it's a sura ya kantu. Eh? Just like the rest of us pay. First, something.
Yes.
But it is not automatic that Zuno ngude register. I've just started business. It's not that. I think it's a misconception.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Since you asked, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to ask Afri to be preparing because she's going to usher us into the next session, which is very important about marketing, branding, resource mobilization, etc. And then for about 20 minutes, and then we'll go into the last session where we're going to have most of the women filmmakers here talking about the different things. So I'm just one last word. I'm going to ask you to give one last word to the women that are in film with something to do with business, a business advice. But I would like also for you, as you're wrapping it up, in 1 minute and a half, to talk about sustaining our businesses. What do we do to sustain our businesses? Because a business begins and then they say in a very short time, then it is gone, So how do we sustain our businesses, our film businesses? How do we sustain them so that they keep producing, we keep producing, and we are not, someone said, dormant volcano, you erupt once, and then you cease. So how do we sustain our businesses so that they can continue? And one last word to the women in 1.5 minutes for each of you. Thank you so much.
Do I go first?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you so much once again, Barbara. To be able to sustain a business, there's simply 1, be legal, 2, be transparent, 3, the bit of taxes. So many people shy away from taxes. And she talked of a threshold. It's 150 million. If you make profit of 150 million per year is when you start paying taxes. Anything below that, you cannot pay tax. Sorry, turnover. Anything below that, you cannot pay taxes. So do not shy away from registering because people are not going to do business with someone who has not registered. So be legal and also pay the taxes of the land. It's important. Those of you who are not sure of how much tax you pay, they will just demarcate 900,000 a year as long as you're doing your returns and you pay that 900,000, but you're able to go out and do work that is bigger than that. Because most people will ask you, I don't know if they ask in the film, but where we are, they'll ask you for your tax clearance.
Yes.
To be able to do certain work. So if you're not in the land, right with your taxes, there's no way you're going to have a tax clearance. So you miss on a big job. Have systems in your business, but on a personal level, how are you networking? What networks do you belong to? I heard the minister said this should be a federation. Are you registered? Do you move as a force? But also not only moving as a force, in that same force, are you learning from each other? This is beautiful. There's information the lady of URSB has given us, the lawyer has given us. She's given us as a business person. I'm here wondering how a doctor goes into film. But that is learning on a daily. And you cannot learn that when you're seated in your small cubicle looking at. So how are you networking? Intentional visibility. Women, we have a habit of saying, it's not cute. Seriously, it's not cute. Whatever platform you've been given, use it right, shine, be visible. But most importantly, also keep improving. If today you started when you did not know ABCD, go and learn it. Continuous improvement. I started coaching and training. I have a background in financial management, BCom, but I realized I needed to be a business coach. I can't be a business coach if I'm not certified. So I'm finalizing my international certification. I'm a member of the Ugandan Association. I want to be a member of the ICF. I'm a member of the IFC. Why do I do that? because you come off as a fraud if people are talking about, she mentioned it, which was good. If someone says, do you know how to do a documentary? Say, yes, I do. But that shows you that there's a gap in documentary. Go study it. Improve yourself constantly. Don't come off as a fraud. Goodwill runs out.
Yes, doctor.
I think, yeah, like I said, Jackie has summarized the major things that we need to do in terms of our businesses, in terms of developing ourselves. But one thing maybe that I could add, all the above she has said is very good and very true. But when you're running a business, one takeaway I would want to let people know, it's not an overnight thing. It's not a get rich quick.
Yeah.
So somebody comes, you find somewhere where they are, and you're thinking, I want to be like them tomorrow. It's taken a lot of years, a lot of learning, a lot of failing, a lot of resilience. So just to encourage ourselves that whatever we are doing, take a day at a time and get better each day, rather than sometimes when you think it's a deal and it's a quick deal of tomorrow it's fixed, yes. And I would share a small thing. When we started Net Studios Africa, and it's something that the company was first registered in 2013. And we did not get into eventually opening and doing the business we had envisioned to do until 2020. And that was 7 years down the road. But a lot of works went through that. Our building, the premises, we're trying to understand where it is. Which direction are we taking? And lo and behold, when we opened, a month later, we were closed for COVID. 1 month after we had officially opened. And then it takes you back into the mode of, okay, what's this? You have brought people on board, you've done research, you've planned, you wanted to do this. We had big dreams of, doing so much, creating, accumulating so much content within a certain period, and you wake up and no one is allowed to move with all the things you had put in place and all the plans you had. But then it puts you in a place of trying to think again. Now, during the lockdown, while seated at home and on one of those days you're thinking and there are all these WhatsApps going around, and there was something coming out which was, and I'm very glad Private Sector Foundation Uganda is now on board, but I'll share what the experience was. So they sent out something like businesses which had just started could apply for money, for funding, to show, like to recover from that. I was like, oh yeah, Net Studios qualifies. We had just started, COVID has come, and we can't do much. And like I've said, my background, writing a proposal is not a hard thing to do. I had all the time. So sat at home and wrote a proposal to Private Sector Foundation Uganda. And at that time, which was one of our many things as Net Studios to do, was capacity building. But at that time, it was not number one. It was like there, we were starting from content creation initially. But then it was then I thought of like the capacity building, and then we sent out a proposal to Private Sector Foundation. Back and forth, they got back to us and said, oh, we do not understand much about this creative thing, and it's not something we're able to put in money now. But along those parts of interacting with them, we also got to know that actually Private Sector Foundation Uganda gets a larger portion of its money from MasterCard Foundation. And somebody said it that, oh, maybe you try, MasterCard Foundation. And I was like, okay, it does no harm. Like you're saying, you're taking risks and you're like, some things you've already sat down and put in man hours. And that's the proposal we took to MasterCard Foundation. Again, saying we want to build capacity on learning on the job, coming in, because we've set up, we have the cameras, we have the lights, we have everything. How can we get other people to come in? And that's how it all went to the foundation. But what am I bringing up this? It took time of almost 2 years when the foundation, the MasterCard Foundation, even gave us money. Then someone will come and look and say, oh, they just turned around and got the money. No. What I'm trying to say is that everything, you will find that it's a process. And can we be able to be ready to get into the process, enjoy the journey, part of the process, the learning, the resilience, and it's doable. And we can do it together. And the other thing, maybe the last one also, as women, can we support each other? Can we work together?
Yes.
And that is
Yes.
very helpful. When you meet
Yes.
another woman, because the challenges we have as women are different, are special. When I meet Barbara, and I've called her, we are doing screenwriting and we are talking, when I engage Barbara, I come from a place where I know Barbara is an Alongo and what comes with that. But it takes another woman to appreciate, to know that. I know Barbara and I'm thinking, oh, Barbara, but what time are you going to get home and see that dinner? Have we put in place some of these things to make sure that even the people you've left at home, but that can only be done us among women when we're working with other women.
Supporting
But you're
each
a
other.
woman and your person working for you says they want to take their child for immunization and you're forgetting like you ever had a child to take for immunization. Or someone comes and tells you that my child was immunized and cried
Yes.
all night. Why did you give birth? We are the women who should support each other. I very well understand when someone comes and tells me they did not sleep the whole night after an immunization because you've lived it, you've seen it. So we are the only ones who can support and see how we work together with the challenges that we may have. If I'm an Alongo, if someone will say, the person who helps me at home woke up and left. Mr. Chintu might not understand that. He's thinking, hey, you mean you don't have backup? But as a woman, yes, but as a woman, come from that place of understanding, of knowing, okay, so how are we going to mitigate this? How can we work around it? And we support each other. But because we know, us as women, what our other challenges are, I think we are in the best position to support each other and to carry out all the various hats we have, you know? Yeah, it's not just your child, it's not just your husband, it's even your mother, it's your sibling. So it's so much that we carry that, and I think it's only us as women, once we work together and we are understanding, and what has worked for me, I can share with her, I can share with the other one, and we are like, yeah, we can do it. So if we get together as women, support each other, we'll do it.
All right. I think these are conversations that we cannot exhaust. There's so many questions that we had prepared, and but because of time, I just want us to appreciate this panel. As I'm going to also ask you so that we can document this moment as Africams. I don't know where the paparazzi is. Eric, is Eric in the room? Let's document this very moment. I think here. And but please, a round of applause for these guys. They have impacted us.
All right.
Yes, thank you so much.
Hellos. They say close your mouth about the things going on in your area, girl. They say you're too dumb to vent to care. They say your heel's too high, your skills too low for you to know. Yeah, well that's just what they say. But who is this African girl? Who is this Ugandan girl? Tell me, who is this African girl? Yeah. Do we know, do we know, do we know? Oh, that it's too much for her to bear. Or when we say she's too dumb, just plait her hair. Or see, I know that she's much more than what she wears. This I know, oh I know, yes I know. Can't you see I am this African girl? I am this Ugandan girl. Oh, I am this African girl. Yeah. Oh, now you know, now you know, now you know. So now you know. Oh, teach me my 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And give me that ABC. Yeah. How I long to be more than anything, more than everything. Won't you just let me be? Yeah. All my Ugandan ladies in the house. Hey, sing this with me now. Sing. I am this African. That's nice. Put your hands together. I am this Ugandan. I'm this African girl. Let's go. Sing. I am this African girl. Oh, let me know, let me know, let me know. Oh, and empower Miss African. Where are my hands now? Said empower this Ugandan girl. Empower, empower Miss African girl. Till she knows it, let her know it. Till she knows it, till she knows it, till she knows it, let her know it. Thank you so much. All right, so for this next song, you're going to help me out, okay? Is it a deal? Will you help me out? No. Will you help me out? So this is a new song, okay? And it's called Gusulawano, all right? So it's very simple. When I say something like, oh, your answer is Gusulawano. Hey, some already know it, eh? I see you, I see you. All right, so that's a simple answer. All right, let's go.
Our love is forever. You're my one, there's no other. Our love is forever. You're my one, there's no other.
Said Afri, yeah. Where was Soko Kunda? Gaya de Wegana. Teri ya kukuranganze. Netwekubo bufana nyinga note chumala. Nganyiri roku singa kwe. Wate wani banga mubi bozi getwanyumya. Oteri ansesanga kwe. Na kukuranga mukamata tuketwaza nyana ye tia kusinga. Are we ready now? Oh, ablo mukwano guno wo kwanjaulo yate twani bato omukwano gwo kusulawano. This side, let me hear you. Nice. Yeah. Are we ready now? Are we ready now? Everybody, let's go. Hey. That's right. Hey, yate twali bato omukwano gwo kusula no. Say, our love is forever. You're my one. You're my one. Kusula. Our love is forever. You're my one. There's no other. Kusula, I know. Thank you.
Thank you so much.